Hi, welcome back. As you've noticed, I haven't got much done lately, and a lot of that has to do, I had to do a work trip to Chicago, which I drove the BJ40 to. I got as far as Little Rock, and then the little old B diesel started to knock on me. Drove it to Memphis, and didn't get any better when it was warmed up. It ran fine, just was knocking. And at that point I realized driving on to Chicago and then on to Colorado probably wasn't a good idea. So put an APB out in Memphis for a place that I can store it for a week. And within 5 minutes, the great Land Cruiser community answered, and I found Mosley Motors. Great guy Cameron helped me out, said bring it on over. So I brought it there, left it for the week, and drove back to, flew from Chicago to Memphis on Monday. The wife met me there, and we towed it back with the 4Runner with a tow dolly. And then halfway home, my son called and said, "Oh, I'm leaking oil." He's got a Jetta. "I think I may have hit something." So now I have a cracked oil pan on the TDI that I have to replace this week. As you can see, the two broke down vehicles right there. Knock on the BJ and cracked oil pan on the TDI. That's where we had it parked the other day. Left a nice stain. So we were able to tow the BJ40 with the 4Runner here, and I was amazed how well that thing towed. We just got the cheap U-Haul tow dolly, and it actually worked great. It was all interstate driving, so I was able to keep good distance between the car in front of me, and you know, I think I drove around 60, probably average, got up to 65 in stretches, and we made it home. So now I have the two vehicles you just saw and the 80. Now the 80 is, I finally got the new NV4500 transmission, the Dodge version. I just got done cutting off this piece. As you can see, this is the old transmission that will need a rebuild, that will go into the 75. And to make this AAA adapter work, you have to shorten the shaft. You can see that's basically how much you cut off. And then the new housing goes on the back, and then this fits in there, and then you mount your split case just like you would on any Land Cruiser, and you go from there. So right now I just have to wait an hour for the Pookie to dry for me to torque down the bolts, and then I will try to wrangle it back in there with my not so safe floor jack with a piece of plywood on it. And I did take it down that way, so hopefully I can get it back up the same way just as easy. And here is one half of the split case, other half, and all the pieces here, reseal kit. So I think I am close to getting the 80 back on the road, and then I will move on to the son's TDI. The oil pan comes in on Wednesday, and we also bought him a skid plate. So next time he's going too fast over a bump, he will just hit the skid plate instead of knocking the engine down on the concrete. And this is the third, I think I hit something with his car. So I've replaced the mirror, which I think he hit a dumpster on the side of the road, broke the passenger side mirror off. I got a junkyard one for that. And then he hit, or thinks he hit, something else, which my bet it was a curb, and he cracked the intercooler, which mounts in the front bumper. Not a very good spot for it, but whatever. And so now onto the oil pan. So yeah, fun stuff. And then after we get done with the Jetta, I will be able to get back onto the 75 build next weekend. Still plan on bringing it to Family Ranch to use the tractor to pull off the LX cab so I can have a frame. I do have some motor mounts being made. That'll be 3 to 5 weeks before I have those. I could have made them myself, but I figure why not use the exact same ones that I had built on the 80. That way everything fits in the frame exactly how it is, and I can deal with that. So that's one of those deals where you pay somebody else to do something just to save time. And 3 to 5 weeks, I have plenty to do before then. Getting the frame ready to accept the engine. I want to clean it up, do all that good stuff. So it should be right on that. And then in the meantime of working on the 75, I will have to take a weekend to install the 3B into the BJ40. So I bought this as a spare about a year ago, and good thing I did, because now the B with the knock, there's no sense digging into that slow motor when I got a bit faster motor, still slow, sitting here in the garage. So I'll clean this one up, make sure it fires, and then throw it into the BJ40. Good thing with the B and the 3B and then the 2B is they all mount exactly the same, so I won't have to redo anything. I'll just take the motor out, put that one in. Should be, I don't know, better part of a day, maybe a full weekend. I'm sure I'll break a bolt or something and need to source that. So there you go. We'll walk over to the 75 here. And this project is exactly how I left it before work trip. Nothing new. Y'all have seen everything. The little marks what I do. I still have the flash rust coming. I am going to, once I get the 80 out of the garage, then I think I'm going to move the 75 in. I can always do the motor for the BJ in the driveway, but I want to get the 75 in here. So I have cover, because it's just way too damn hot outside to work out there. I have the fan in here, plus on bad days like today, it's been raining yesterday, and I think there's still rain tonight, so then I cannot stop what I'm doing for rain delays. So there you go. That is it for today, which is Saturday, and hopefully have the 80 back on the road. Hopefully by Wednesday when the oil pan comes in. I don't have any fluids, so I need to get some fluids for the NV4500. I need some new steak nuts. I don't really want to reuse the ones I have. So that'll be a couple days getting those in on the mail. But yeah, Wednesday. I need to get this done because I am tired of driving this stupid Ford. I hate Fords, and this one sucks. I mean, it had a good engine, but man, I just hate working on Fords. And here's a funny story here. So when I was doing ball joints on the front, I was having a hell of a time getting the spindle off, and as you can see, I took my frustration out on this already dented fender. So the 5-pound hammer hit this thing, I don't know, 20 times, and it felt really good. And I really don't care, because as you can see, this is a straight up work truck. I got it all dented like this. I don't think there's a panel on this thing that doesn't have some sort of dent. But I'm tired of driving this every day. I'm a Land Cruiser guy, and I don't have a Land Cruiser to drive right now, so I need to get that going. So there you go. I'll check back in with you guys later. So it is Sunday now. I have managed to get the transmission installed, which wasn't fun. I had to go get this, the Harbor Freight low profile transmission jack, only because I had about 3 hours of trying to use that with this piece of plywood on top, and the angle of the transmission basically ripped it out. So I had the transmission fall off that floor jack twice and get kind of wedged in an angle. Had to scoot it out, and that's when I realized I'm an idiot wasting all this time when I should just get the right tool. I'm gonna need it again at least 1 or 2 more times in my lifetime, I assume. So it's use a coupon. I think I paid it was $2.99, 60 bucks off with 20%, so yeah, $2.40 or so. And when I used that, it literally took 5 minutes because I was able to get it the right angle and it stabbed right in. So right now I am in the process of putting the split case back together. I have the back half on, and then just kind of cleaning up things now. I'm not really in a hurry anymore, so I am going on to, I need to install the shifter, and my shifter, the tunnel here with my cover, it was kind of had a bunch of pookie all over it, and I had to chisel it up. And so I decided to I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to use only the factory holes that are still there, and I'll bolt it down. The only problem is back here it kind of pops up, so I have plenty of sound deadening, which I already have everywhere else. So I'm going to put sound deadening all over this part. That will give it a little bit of a cushion where I'm hopefully not have to use any kind of sealant or pookie. And then I'll put some sound deadening on this as well, and then I'll drill out from the bottom through the sound deadening, and I'll probably clean this up and put some sound deadening on the bottom. Any little bit helps, and when I have little pieces off like this, I like to if they're not very utilitarian, where I can just take this off with a handful of bolts, I will make it that way to make my life easier for the next time. So that's where I'm at. So that is my Sunday. Goal is to have this out of the garage on Wednesday, pull the Jetta in for oil pan skid plate install, move that out, and then move the 75 build, which everybody wants to see and I want to work on, and move that in the garage, because right now it is raining out here, it's wet, and there's no working out there. So there you go. That is my weekend update, and see y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, give me a like, help me out. All right, thanks guys.